Hi Taylor, how you doing? Okay, I've got your work up here. Now, the first thing I would recommend is that in your branding is all about consistency. It's all about setting up a visual identifier and sticking with that visual identifier. The reason I bring that up is because on your first page, you're showing four different iterations of your visual identifier. So in branding, it's all about picking one and sticking with it. So what you want to do, oh, and I shouldn't say picking one, that's misleading. I would say pick one and then the black on white, or the reverse of white on black, which would be the same as that. So really, you don't need to show all these, because all you're doing here is, and I hope this makes sense, is you're diluting your branding. Okay, so this you wouldn't typically include different iterations in a basic branding package. You wouldn't include this. This would maybe come down later down the line somewhere when you start to embellish on your branding. But as far as establishing a good, solid, consistent initial branding process, I would stay away from multiple variations other than your final variation and then the reverse or the black on white. Okay, let's move to the business card. I don't recommend this at all. I think that right now there's a couple of things going on here, Taylor. I think that there's one thing that I would say is that if did you design these little icons? Okay, and if you didn't, and somebody in an interview asks you if you did, and you have to say no, then you're sunk. And I hope that makes sense. I don't mean to sound discouraging, but that's why I always advise students to stay away from any kind of clip art or anything other than what they've created themselves. Now, if you did create these, then there's there's another reason I don't want you to use them. I don't think they work well on a business card, because on a business card, basically what you want to do is what you're doing right here. Okay, I don't. I'm going to get stuck. I'm so sorry, Taylor. I just have so much trouble saying that. I practiced and practiced, and it's one of those words I can't say. Like my wife, her word is aesthetic. She just can't say it. I'm so sorry about that. Anyway, that's what your branding is right there. So you don't need to say, you don't need to say to show the icons. This is fine right here. If this is how you want to brand yourself, branding, print, motion, web, I would not include those. I would not include those. All they're doing is they're diluting what you already have. You know, it's classic Hick's law. Everything you add to a design takes away from what's already there. So I think by adding this is diluting what's already here. As far as a business card goes, I'm okay with this. But boy, I'll tell you what I would do here is I would get rid of everything here. If you want to keep branding, print, but I would just change the size of that logo. Whoops, what is going on here? Something like that. And really show it prominently, since you're not showing it on the back of the card, really show it prominently on the front. And to do so, of course, I would recommend getting rid of those. But yeah, that's what I would definitely recommend, showing that on the front, so that you can see that it's obviously a business card. So you would probably definitely turn it over to get the pertinent information on the back. The information on the back, I think, it's composed pretty well. I love the use of negative space. I really think it counters that type on the left-hand column really well. And but one thing I would say is that reversing type, okay, which means that when you're putting white type on a color background, you always want to increase your kerning. That's the space between your letters, or your tracking. In this case, you could go in and just increase your tracking in InDesign or Illustrator, or you could increase the individual kerning. Whichever way, we just got to get some space between those letters, because right now it's useless at smaller sizes. Hope you can see that, but that's a great way to look at it. That's why I love doing the zoom tool in Acrobat. Okay, so all right, now let's get to the letterhead. The letterhead looks great. I love this right here. I like the Taylor logo on the white background with that. It's a gorgeous logo, gorgeous, love it. Right now, I think you're forcing the letterhead to be done exactly what you've done here, and that's to force it over out of the way of the logo. You've created this phantom column over here. It's pushing all your type to the right, and it's resulting in not a very attractive typed letter. Okay, so my recommendation here would be, forget this sidebar here. Keep your logo right there. Just take that information, your contact information, span it across the bottom of the page. Be really light like you are up here, so you have this nice light, airy letterhead. And then that way you'll have this whole area here for the actual letterhead itself. Okay, all right, that's what I have. Good job. Any questions, comments, or other, please feel free to let me know. Thanks, Taylor.